Tonight, election cliffhanger. Our country's leadership still undecided as preparations begin for a hung parliament. Killers on the run, 2 men dead in Sydney in separate violent attacks. Delicate rescue operation after a teenager falls off a mountain. And what the Queen has told Scotland after the Brexit vote.
This is 7 News with Sally Bowery.
Good afternoon. We are a nation in political limbo with no clear winner emerging from yesterday's federal election and no result expected for days. The possibility of another hung parliament is very real after voters turned away from the coalition across the country. Now, Malcolm Turnbull declared he's confident pre-poll and postal votes will allow him to stay in power. Political reporter Maria Ivanovic has more. To other news now, and a man has been shot dead and another stabbed in separate suspected murders in Sydney. Emergency services were called to a house in Schofields just after 11 last night, where they found a man with multiple stab wounds. The man, aged in his 40s, was taken to Westmead Hospital in a critical condition but died a short time later. Forensic officers have taken evidence from the crime scene, including a Holden Commodore. A search is underway for the attacker. And police are investigating a fatal shooting in Sydney's southwest overnight. The 24-year-old was found suffering critical injuries on a roadway at Cabramatta just before 11 o'clock. He died at the scene. Police are hunting the gunman. Tens of thousands of people have protested through the streets of London over the referendum decision to leave the European Union. Scotland, Northern Ireland and London voted against Britain's exit, with many Remain voters refusing to accept the result. The turnout was a fraction of the 17.4 million who voted to leave the EU last week. And the Queen's addressed a new sitting of Scotland's Parliament. In her first major speech since the Brexit vote, she called for calm in a challenging world as Scotland considers leaving the UK. Still to come in 7 News, extraordinary near miss. Watch what happens when an out-of-control car smashes into a chemist on the Gold Coast. And our swimming superstar ready to take on the world at Rio after smashing records in Brisbane. That's next. Security cameras have captured the incredible moment an out-of-control car smashed into a chemist on the Gold Coast backwards. It jumped a footpath outside and smashed through the day-night chemist at Broadbeach, narrowly missing a staff member. Police said the elderly driver reversed his car around a corner and just kept going. He was treated for shock but was otherwise uninjured. A medical episode may have caused the crash. Bangladesh has begun 2 days of mourning as more details are revealed about the deadly terror attack in Dhaka. 20 people were killed when 7 Islamist militants stormed a busy restaurant, taking diners hostage during a 12-hour standoff with police. Witnesses said the gunmen demanded Bangladeshi residents stand up before they began killing foreigners. Authorities say the gunmen were local and police tried to arrest 5 of them before the attack. Australian swimmer Kate Campbell will head to the Rio Olympics as clear favourite in the 100 metres freestyle after breaking the world record last night in Brisbane. The 24-year-old shaved 0.01 of a second off the previous record set 7 years ago. Marlena Wopp has more. Oh, big times ahead. And speaking of that, sports next with Mel McLaughlin. Mel, plenty of action on the way.
That's right, Sal. That's just your average Sunday, really. Coming up, all the action from the NRL and AFL, plus the latest meltdown to land Nick Kyrgios in strife at Wimbledon. And the penalty shootout so bad you have to see it to believe it in the Euro quarterfinals. Good afternoon. The Raiders have made a remarkable comeback against the luckless Knights to steal a Golden Point victory at home. Newcastle was dominant in attack, up 22-0 after 24 minutes. Blake Austin ignited the Green Machine's fight back. Neither team could seal the deal, sending the match to Golden Point. The Raiders finally snuck away with a 4-point win off the back of a wayward field goal. Jason Day made the most of a bad day to share the lead after the third round of the Bridgestone Invitational in Ohio. Australia's world number one only hit 3 fairways but scrambled to finish at 5 under, level with American Scott Piercy. Day will bank more than $2 million with victory. Adam Scott was 3 shots off the lead before falling 7 shots behind Day and South. Jason's had a pretty good day. He and his wife, they posed with the Cavs the NBA championship winning trophy. During that day as well, you might remember LeBron James careering into his Jason
almost
Day's wife
decapitating.
Exactly. But obviously they're all friends now, it's all good.
Yeah, oh well, good to see they've made up.
Exactly.
Thanks for that, Val. After the break, I'll have the full forecast on how the start of the week's looking. Now having a look at weather across the country, and a trough is causing areas of rain over WA, while a large high in the east is bringing light winds and a cool morning to Queensland and New South Wales. Around the capitals tomorrow, a cloudy day in Brisbane and Sydney, and sunny skies in Darwin, 32. And that's 7 News for now. Our next bulletin is 7 News at 6. I'm Sally Barry. Thanks for your company.